All right, hi everyone, and welcome to Astrology Talks with Jem, where we make trauma cool. We trauma addressing our trauma cool because apparently it is not a cool thing. Now, when I'm looking here, I'm obviously looking in the camera, but when I'm looking down here, I'm looking at the presentation. Okay, so what prompted me to do this was feeling the energy of the Aquarius new moon yesterday. I was feeling like change needed to happen, and in order for it to happen, I needed to be the change that I wanted to see. Um, yeah, I needed to be the change that I wanted to see. And what made me feel as though this conversation needed to be had was the reactions to my story. If you haven't watched it, you can still watch it. Actually, you know what? Let me not say that confidently because I don't know how to upload this yet. So hopefully this happens while my story's still there. Okay. So the agenda for today. I'm a firm believer that if there is no need, don't waste your time because that's really what you'll be doing. If we understand that the capitalism is the current function of our society or the current system, major system of our society, it's based off of supply and demand, which was once pure. You know, you needed some wheat, I had some sugar. Um, Let me reverse that. I needed some sugar, you needed some wheat. I make wheat, you make sugar. We just trade. Um, Essentially, and that initially it was built off of need, but now because of consumerism, it has turned into wants. I am saying that if there is a need, I feel we should provide said need if we have the ability to do so, and I feel like I do. Now I understand that not everybody likes talking about astrology because everybody thinks astrology is like trying to understand you and trying to read you and like trying to take away your autonomy to be the person that you are. Well, newsflash, you are being having a human experience, and everything that you think that you are, if it is something that you can experience through your senses, is not who you are. So that is a whole nother discussion that we will eventually have, possibly. Possibly. I realize that when I make definitive dates, I just naturally don't do them. So we'll just make this lucid apologize for hitting the microphone. Tentative. But if you are defined by your experience here, um, by your senses, then yes. I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Yeah, if that is how you define yourself, well, there lies a place to start tackling things, because once you're able to detach yourself from this three dimension, then you'll be able to explore these different areas of your life with less internalization, and that will lead to less pain. But that's neither here nor there. So, the discussion for today was prompted again from that story. And today we're going to talk about, oh, yes, there it is. See, I kept talking. I felt like Michael Scott. Eventually you'll get there. So, and I lost it again. Astrology. Astrology is looked at as, oh my gosh, like either it's a religion to some people. Like I don't believe in it. Do you believe in science? Well, I guess like people have the choice to believe in whatever they choose to believe in. Science, language, it is just that. It's like mathematics, it's like science. It comes from alchemy, which came from chemistry. Which chemistry came from. Alchemy was the original chemistry. So, this is just a language used to describe and talk about, or used to articulate what energy is and the many forms and signatures that it can take on and what it means to those who are energetic beings, aka us. So, today's agenda, we're going to talk about Taurus and Scorpio during an Aquarius season, specifically when the moon. Right now, I think the moon is moving into Pisces if it's not already there. But when the moon is in Aquarius, when the sun is in Aquarius, and when Mercury retrograde is in Aquarius, and what that means for those who have Taurus placements, Scorpio placements in their chart, specifically I want to specifically talk to those that have Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Taurus moon. This is going to affect you greatly. All right. So let's just see why. Why is it going to affect you greatly? The presentation looks so pretty. Why is it going to affect you greatly, you ask? Okay, so let's just get some things cleared out the way first. So, why? Why? Okay, I should go to this slide first. The reason why is because Aquarius squares the signs Taurus and Scorpio. Now here, what does square mean? Here is Aquarius, right? The squigglies. And here's Scorpio, the M with the tail. And here's Taurus, the circle with the horns. All right, so Taurus and Scorpio oppose each other. That means that they are 180 degrees away from each other. This chart is 360 degrees. They're 180 degrees. Now, from here to here, that's 90 degrees. From here to here, that's 90 degrees. Now, if we think about a square, the square is 90 degrees or 90-degree angles. So this is a 90-degree angle. Let me say that, a 90-degree angle. If we were driving in a car and you had to make a 90-degree angle turn abruptly, what would happen? That sudden change, what would happen? It would cause a lot of conflict if there are other cars on the road. It will cause a lot of tension for you in the car. Oh my gosh, am I going to hit somebody? It's kind of a scary experience if you are not prepared for it. And that is what's happening to Scorpio and Tauruses, or those who have Scorpio and Taurus placements in their chart at the moment, for those who are not aware. So if you're, for example, your rising sign is Scorpio, right now, the way that you see the world, as well as the way that people see you, is changing. It's taking a sudden change. You might seem very radical at this time. Regardless, the way that you are being perceived is going to be challenging to you as well as to those receiving you for the rising signs. The same thing goes for Taurus. You're going to be seen as a challenge to those that are experiencing you, especially if those people are an Aquarius. But let's just stick to the point. The way that you are perceived, as well as the way that you perceive the world, will be challenged at this time. If your sun is in Scorpio or Taurus, the way you see yourself, your ego, is going to be challenged at this time. And if your moon is in Scorpio or Taurus, the way that you feel is going to be challenged at this time. The way that you feel is going to be challenged at this time. And it really depends. The challenge depends on what sign it is in, but the point is things are going to be challenged. Now, in order for us to grow, challenge is necessary. So challenge is not necessarily the issue unless you find yourself repeatedly challenged and putting yourself in that position and you don't like how it feels, but yet you consistently put yourself in that position. Then that's a conversation to have with yourself. Why do I keep putting myself in these challenging positions, whether they're people, places, or situations? Why do I keep doing this to myself? But in a situation like this, where the universe, like the planets are aligned in this way, you can't move them. You have to experience this challenge. And for those that are, for example, a Scorpio, you're going to experience this challenge twice a year, if arbitrarily. So let's say your sun is in Scorpio, you're going to experience this twice a year because the sun is going to move in Aquarius at some point, and then the sun is going to move in Leo at some point. Leo, looking at this chart, just like how Scorpio and Taurus are 180 degrees from each other, Leo, where is Leo? Here it is. Leo and Aquarius are 180 degrees from each other. They oppose each other. So it creates a 90-degree angle for Scorpio and Taurus. So twice a year, you're going to experience this challenge. It's going to manifest in different ways, but you're going to experience this challenge. So what do you do during these times? First of all, if we're able to look at challenge as something that makes us grow, then the experience will be different because you can operate during the challenge, or you can operate or navigate yourself through the challenge as if it was an adventure, because really and truly it is. I feel the reason why we have issues with challenges is because we think that the path is supposed to be smooth. And in reality, the path is the path. Where you're walking is where you're meant to be. Where you are right now is where you're meant to be. So if you were to accept the fact that things are not always going to go your way, and that your way is not always right, and that right is not real, so your way is not always going to be the way that you experience, and on the other side, what you want to experience may not always be harmonious. If we're able to accept those truths, which are plentiful and take time, then we will be able to experience life without expectations, without attachments. And during an Aquarius season, this is a great time to learn detachment, because that is what's happening. That's what's happening. We're becoming less defined by certain things, and yes, more defined by things like our individuality. So this is why, side tangent, this is why for those who have an Aquarius, I mean a Scorpio sun or a Taurus sun, this is particularly challenging because your view of yourself is morphing in a way that's not fun. Maybe you're being called out in ways that you don't like. Maybe you're noticing things that you just feel triggered. This is just the time of triggeration. Like you're being triggered. Again, depending on how we see this, is how we will experience it, because it all starts in the mind. So if you are able to look at this from a perspective of this is going to make me grow, then I feel you'll be less tense, which allows the already tense time to be something that can be more easily received. I want to keep this short because I don't know how long. Yeah, I want to keep this short. My intention is to put this on my Instagram do TV. So let's see how this works. Yeah, this was great. This was fun. Now let's see how this works when it comes to uploading. Also, in the comments down below, if this is something that you're interested in, please let me know. Again, if you watch my videos, you know that I don't care. To the idea, if it's not, actually, I don't care, but I do care because supply and demand, right? So I do care to an extent. But yeah, this feels right to do. So that's why I said I don't care. This feels like it's necessary. This feels right. So let's see how the uploading process goes, because that will really dictate if this is actually possible. Thank you for your time. I hope you were able to learn something. And if you have anything to say, please comment down below because I care about what you have to say. I care about what you have to say. My whole not caring is like not allowing how other people feel about you to determine what you do. You know, like not to allow other people to affect or to impact your purpose in a way that makes you hide, because that only leads to a tower moment for those that are familiar with the tarot. And if you're not, that just leads to you you're being forced. You'll be forced to speak your truth. And it might not be in a way that's great. And it could definitely happen during a time like this where you're in a square for those that are Scorpio, that have Scorpio in their chart or Taurus in their chart. But yeah, we're going to leave this here. Thank you for your time. Have a great Friday.